Welcome to the Midnight Hotel, where every guest leaves a story behind.
Part 2, Room 208. The suitcase lay between them on the lobby floor. Still. Too still. Then, a soft scratching sound came from inside. Jacob tightened his grip instinctively. The host did not react. Not surprise. Not concern. Only observation. Then the scratching stopped. Silence returned. The gramophone in the corner continued its broken melody, slightly warped beneath the storm pressing against the stained glass windows. Jacob exhaled slowly. "You heard that?" "I did," the host replied. "And you're not concerned?" "No." Jacob frowned. "You didn't even ask what's inside it?" The host looked at him properly for the first time. "I don't need to." A pause. That answer felt wrong. Not because it lacked curiosity, but because it suggested knowledge without explanation. The suitcase shifted faintly again. The chains tightened on their own. The host turned slightly toward the wall behind him. The key rack. Then he snapped his fingers once. A single key came floating from inside the many holes on the wall, drifted into his hand. He placed it on the desk. Room 208. Jacob stared at it. Then the host spoke before Jacob could ask anything else. "There are rules you should be aware of." Jacob listened silently. The host continued calmly. "You do not interfere with other guests." A pause. "You do not damage the hotel." Another pause. "And you do not disturb its balance." That was all. No elaboration. No warning tone. Just fact. The kind that did not invite questioning. Jacob nodded slowly. Then asked, quieter, "What is this place?" The host answered without hesitation. "The Midnight Hotel receives those who cannot continue their journey outside." Jacob frowned. "That explains nothing." "It is enough to proceed." The suitcase gave a faint metallic strain. The chains tightened again. The host looked at Jacob. "You should go." Jacob hesitated. Then picked up the key. He turned toward the stairs. The host remained behind the desk, watching. The corridor on the second floor was too long for the building outside. Room 208 waited at the end. Still. Waiting. The key turned. Click. The door opened. Jacob stepped inside. The room was simple. Too simple. A bed. A chair. A lamp that flickered once before settling. And a mirror on the wall. The door closed behind him without sound. Not locked. Not sealed. Just final. Jacob stood still for a moment. Then he checked the suitcase. The chains were still intact. Mostly. Some links were slightly loosened. As if something inside had been testing them from the other side. He frowned. Then placed the suitcase near the bed. Carefully. Deliberately. He washed his hands at the small sink. Cold water. Real. Grounding. For a moment, the hotel felt less wrong. He returned to the bed. Sat down. The silence pressed in slowly. Heavy. Not peaceful. Waiting. Jacob lay back. And closed his eyes. At first, there was nothing. Only sleep. Only darkness. Then. He was no longer lying down. He was standing. But not in the room. The space around him was wrong. Too wide. Too empty. And above him. Something was watching. Not with eyes. With presence. A shape suspended in the dark ceiling of nothing. Slowly lowering itself. Not falling. Approaching. Its form was unclear at first. Then it sharpened. A mass of pale flesh stretched thin like damp paper, folded in unnatural geometry. Long limbs bent in directions that did not respect joints or bone. Its head tilted too far forward, as if curiosity had broken its spine long ago and never healed. And then, eyes opened across it. Not arranged. Not placed. Just appearing. Dozens. Then hundreds. All focusing on him at once. Jacob tried to move. He couldn't. The entity leaned closer. And its mouth opened. Not where a mouth should be, but across its chest. A slow tearing sound echoed as something inside it breathed out his name. Jacob. The voice was wrong. Not one voice. Many, layered poorly over each other. The entity descended further. Its fingers touched his face. Cold. Wet. Then. Pressure. Like something trying to enter through the skin rather than touch it. Jacob felt his vision distort. His thoughts fracture. His eyes burned. Something inside them moved. Not pain. Not injury. Removal. He tried to scream. But the sound never reached air. Then. Suddenly. He woke up. Jacob shot upright in bed. Breathing hard. Sweat cold on his skin. Silence. The room was still there. The lamp. The mirror. The chair. The suitcase. He turned sharply toward it. The chains were almost broken. Not damaged. Not loosened. Almost finished. As if something inside had nearly succeeded. Jacob stumbled out of bed. He grabbed the suitcase immediately. The moment his hands touched it, the chain snapped inward. The suitcase buckled violently. And something inside it moved. Not resisting anymore, but escaping. The surface split slightly. A sound like wet air being forced through bone filled the room. Jacob's grip tightened. But then, something hit him from inside the suitcase. Not outward. Through. His body jolted violently. His vision blurred instantly. And then, blood filled his mouth. His eyes burned. Something inside them shifted. Not breaking, but being replaced. Jacob collapsed backward, still gripping the suitcase. And the suitcase opened. What came out was not fully formed. It unfolded rather than emerged. A slick, layered presence dragging itself into the room like it had always belonged there but forgot its shape. The air grew thick. Heavy. Wrong. Jacob tried to move. But his body responded slowly, as if no longer fully attached to him. The entity leaned toward him. And inside his reflection on the floor. His eyes were no longer his. They were shifting. Rolling. Misaligned. Watching from angles that should not exist. Jacob forced himself upright, grabbed the suitcase with sudden panic and slammed it into the door. Crack. Wood splintered. The impact echoed through the corridor. The suitcase fell open again slightly. The entity inside recoiled. Then pressed forward again. Outside the room. A knock. 3 slow taps. Calm. Controlled. The chaos inside room 208 stopped for half a second. Then the host's voice, "Guest." A pause. "Is everything in order?" Silence. Then the door opened slightly. The host stood outside, perfectly composed, looking in. The room behind him was normal. Bed untouched. Lamp steady. Mirror still. Suitcase closed. Chains intact. Jacob stood inside the room. Still. Breathing evenly. He looked at the host. Then smiled. Too calmly. Is checkout time soon? Jacob asked softly. The host paused. Just for a moment. His gaze shifted slightly past Jacob. Into the room. But saw nothing unusual. Behind Jacob. The real Jacob lay motionless on the bed. Eyes closed. Still asleep. The host's expression did not change. But something in his silence sharpened.